was a good one. I'm calling out the refs. So the refs were tough. You know me. I'm always going to blame the refs. I'm just kidding. But what a beautiful weekend. Let me know your Jersey Shore, if you were down the shore in the Poconos, maybe you were in Florida. Saw so many of you from our Italy trip running into you. So a shout out to especially to Pat and Marty. Love you guys. Taking pictures. And, you know, it was one of our last weekends at Wonderland, you know, with Gillian's shutting down. So we had to take some pictures. So we'll have some fun with that and talk about your shore memories. Or maybe you're going to head back down this weekend, September, just a beautiful, beautiful time of year down the Jersey Shore when the crowds lighten up. But, so many memories and so much fun for sure. We'll talk about all of it. So I misspoke because I was, I am excited to talk about Father Judge and the big football game this Friday night coming up. So I was talking about Pete Smith. He'll be tomorrow in the 11 o'clock hour, but I'm very excited to be welcoming on, and thank you to Henry Machette, who booked Dr. Marty McHarry. So very excited for Dr. Marty to be here at the 11 o'clock hour. So we'll talk about all things COVID, pandemics, monkeypox, whatever, allergy season. We'll talk about all of it and his latest work for sure. Let's get into it. And you know what I am going to begin with, because I always talk about the truth matters, transparency matters. And you know me, if I mess up on something, I'm going to call myself out. I think I'm my toughest own critic. For sure, you could never criticize me more than I criticize myself. And there's good and bad in that. I don't know if you have this where you have, I always say the good angel on the right, on your right shoulder, and then that negative energy angel that's always on your left that's just saying you suck or whatever. But so I messed up last week on Wednesday. I had seen a story that was trending locally as a lot of people were thinking that Philadelphia story about an illegal individual was arrested in Philadelphia. The truth is he was arrested for shooting down people in Philadelphia. The only thing was it was not Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And so here's the point I'm going to make to you. Oops, wrong, illegal, committing violence in Philadelphia. Oops. So it was not. Okay, so let's just go through it, because even we had played for you not so long ago the story that aired on 6ABC about the gangs of illegal migrants accused of targeting stores across the suburbs of Pennsylvania. That was, by the way, that was a 6ABC report we aired for you. That's real. And the two men who were from Venezuela were identified, and they're now, I guess, facing extradition at some point. Venezuela apparently wants them back, even though they were let out of prisons there, allegedly. So there's that one going on. And then there's a story of just over the weekend, the accused murderer, who's an armed, dangerous, violent gang member, drug dealer, and was arrested by ICE at his Philadelphia home over the weekend. Just happened within the past, 36, 48 hours, whatever that is. So just, oops, apologies as I identify. See, I was talking about a 39-year-old alleged career criminal who came here from El Salvador, but it was actually a guy from it was a different illegal. There's so many millions of illegals. Oops, I conflated the two stories. Sorry about that. And I apologize, because look, you should never, ever confuse the alleged violent criminals who are here illegally. You got to, make sure that you identify them correctly. So I'll be better, or for our former First Lady, I'll be best. Thank you, Melania. But it's amazing to me that the campaign for Senator Bob Casey had the audacity. They were calling us out. Apparently, they were calling out Dave McCormick, because I think they're getting a little nervous. That Senate race here in Pennsylvania is getting a little closer, and I think a little too close for comfort. So the Casey campaign puts out this snarky, tweet on X, and they say, "Oh, here's the Philadelphia police uniform, and here's and it was not Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It was the wrong Philadelphia from a southern state. Rah, rah, rah. But they never addressed the fact that Senator Casey, who's been a rubber stamp for President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris, they, under their watch, have allowed millions of illegal criminals. These are criminals. They're wanted in their home countries for murder, and they come here, and even if they have an ankle bracelet or whatever's going on, this is Senator Casey. This is Joe Biden. This is Kamala Harris. You own this, okay? You are in power. You are in control. And the fact that they try to sort of deflect and kick the can down the road, or somehow try to say, well, look at McCormick, shame on him. Oops, he ID'd the wrong violent armed drug dealing gang member illegal, and somehow try to say that, well, that's on McCormick. No. This is on you. You, Senator Bob Casey, this is under your watch. This is under your administration. This is under the Biden-Harris administration, that these illegal individuals have come here under your watch. You've allowed this. And no, these are not mommies and daddies and babies and legal asylum seekers. That's not who these individuals are. And so this dude who's here had arrested by ICE, thank God, at his Philadelphia residence, and he's an accused murderer, an accused drug dealer, an accused gang member, right? And he's here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And now, thank God, they've arrested the guy. You can look it up yourself. The pictures are on the... Now, by the way, Henry and Jimmy, can you guys play well, I'm sure that all the local media is covering this latest illegal wanted killer and murderer, the fact that ICE has arrested him here at his Philadelphia home. Can you air all the stories that have been airing over the past 36 hours? Because I'm sure that, all the local stations and national stations, they're covering this wanted killer. Henry, Machette, do we have that audio of all the local stations that are covering this? I mean, this is a killer living in our midst. I'm a Philadelphia resident.
Yeah, I hate to break it to you, Dawn, but the cupboard's looking awfully bare right now in terms of content for that.
So nobody covered it.
Yeah, it would appear that way.
Wonder why. I'm just asking for a friend. And that's just a piece of it. That the fact that, this 28-year-old guy, he's identified as Ramon Campedias Correa, 28 years old. He's a citizen of Brazil. He came here illegally, and so he will be extradited back to Brazil for charges of murder, drug trafficking, criminal organization. So he is an accused gang member, violent, dangerous individual who is allowed by Senator Bob Casey, President Joe Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris. He was allowed into this country by them. That's who's to blame. The buck stops with them. Own it. So they should, actually issue an apology. Yeah. So thank God this guy is caught. He's arrested. One of many. And I could take you through it. I could go every single day. More and more of these individuals are caught. The problem is there are so many out there. And so that's the real problem here. So we're talking about it this morning. Listen, if you are bugged by the fact, and I hate that commercial that many of you are referencing, the commercial that they totally take Trump's words out of context. We'll have fun with it this week. So every time that ad airs, I want to come back with boom, the fact checking on it. So the ad takes Trump out of context, talking about the word revenge, right? And then they take out of context his different comments, and they claim basically that he's commenting about this Project 2025 because that's all they have. See, and Trump has across the board, Trump personally, his campaign, they have said, Trump has even said, I disagree with a lot that this project, whatever, this think tank group has come out with. And I disagree with them. I've not endorsed them. This is not part of my campaign. This is not part of my platform. And I don't know what more he could do, except I guess they could try to sue the other campaign and say that this is misleading. Maybe they could, you know what they should do? They should file a suit and say it's a danger to democracy. I think they should just spin their words on them. But instead, I think the Trump campaign is like, meh, you know what? Our voters are smarter than this, and they're issue voters, so maybe they're not going to even bother with it. Your thoughts on that, though? In my humble opinion, I just think that if they took Kamala Harris's words as in a flagrant way, like this Kamala Harris ad did, and they flipped it, if it were the other side, there would be outrage. And so I'm just saying that in this one, it's so obvious, if you pay attention, that he's clearly speaking about other things. He's not talking about what they're claiming. And so it really is taking him completely out of context. He's not talking about that.
Just an FYI, you're going to have a lot of fun because apparently this ad has been running a lot.
Oh, yeah.
It's running almost in every break. I mean, I don't know what's running more, this ad or All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah Carey when the station switched over to Christmas music. This ad is running ad nauseum. What drives me crazy, though, and I get it with the listeners, but as Greg Stocker would say, knock it off. Knock off the hole. Knock off the hole.
You don't have to knock it off.
No. Knock off the hole. I'm not going to listen to the radio station anymore. I'm not going to, stop it, okay? Because you're just like those Eagles fans who tell you every year that they're not going to watch the Eagles, and they're right back at the station watching.
Excuse me. Whose show is this?
This
is the Dawn Show. And I'm just saying, if you're triggered by it, it's okay.
No, I'm not triggered by it. I just don't like when audience members tell you that they're not going to listen, okay?
It's okay.
It's about making money, okay? If they want to hand money, like Greg said, to, lose the election, if they want to hand us money, we're going to take it. It's a radio station.
It's aggravating.
Oh, it is.
I
completely agree with you.
And I think they're airing it just to aggravate us.
Oh, I think it is.
Nobody listening right now is going to vote for Kamala Harris because of that stupid lying ad.
They're
just doing it. All they're doing this for is to aggravate you.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
to make you turn off.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
If they can make one person tune out,
that
could be all the difference. Who knows?
That's what this is.
And all yesterday was calls saying, I can't believe you're doing this. And I understand from their point of view because a lot of people that are listening to the radio station now are very loyal Trump supporters and very loyal listeners.
So they're just trying to troll us with this stinking ad. And it's aggravating.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I totally agree with you.
So here's the thing. Every time they air the ad, when they air the ad, we're all going to do this. I'm going to take a shot. We're going to fact check. Okay. And quite frankly, I want to find all the context by which he said those words, and then we're going to play that. Yeah. Just to counter and tell the truth and be transparent.
Want to do a drinking game with it?
We're not making it home.
Oh my goodness! Lair Bear and I. What's that?
I said if we do that, I got to take the train home. I got to leave my car in the garage.
Yeah, we have to Uber. Yeah, we have to Uber or something.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to just.
That's okay.
Go
no,
crazy,
Jimmy, I know it's aggravating. It's all aggravating.
When you get these calls, the thing that aggravates me is that when you get these people who call, and it's no different than those who keep saying, if Trump gets elected, I'm leaving the country. Well, then go already. Yeah. Goodbye. See ya. Don't let the door hit you. Goodbye. It's the same with these listeners. Goodbye. Okay? If you can't deal with that, I don't know what to tell you.
What's the tagline, Jimmy? What's the station's tagline? Free speech lives here.
Free speech lives
here. So every time I hear that every single time I hear it, we're going to have an answer to it to be the truth tellers. But I will say this. Because I was like, I kept thinking, why are they airing this? And now I really have come to the conclusion they're airing it on purpose to make all of us just tune out or tune off because it's aggravating.
I didn't realize it was airing until I guess yesterday, because I was here with Henry, we were doing the Kathy Barnett show, and I must have been doing something. And caller calls in and says, I can't believe you're airing this ad. And I said, what ad are you talking about? And then I heard it again. I'm like, okay.
It broke your fourth wall. You were like, what ad? And then you hear it every single break.
And then you hear it almost every break. Yeah, like they're really, but to Greg's point, this has been going on. And I've been here for 25 years. And every election cycle, this always happens where they run. And I remember in 2000, they were running ads for Al Gore on this station. And then in 2004, they were airing ads for John Kerry. It's like, okay, well, if you want to waste your money, we are going to take it.
But in this case, they can air whatever ads they want. But when they so flagrantly take it out of context, which think this one, that's why it is aggravating. They have to be just trying to aggravate us. So this is the counter plan that we will just counter them with the truth. 855-839-1210. I want to get your thoughts. Take a quick break. Can't wait for Dr. Marty McCary to be right here on The Dawn Show. Be right back.
The good and bad with home improvement projects. The good, you save a buck or two. The bad.
Kevin, there's no hot water.
So you move on to the car.
Kevin, what's with the car?
Good news, you can recover from these.
Kevin!
Well, most all of them. But when it comes to your retirement, a mistake can be devastating. Call Joe Yakovich at JML Financial Group. He's been helping folks prepare for retirement for over 30 years. That's why he's able to correct your do-it-yourself problems before they're problems. Get your complimentary assessment of where you are now and look at some of the retirement boxes you haven't even thought of.
Kevin!
You can't YouTube your retirement. Call Joe Yakovich at 856-925-6674 or visit jmlfinancialgroup.com. Securities and investment advisory services offered through Brokers International Financial Services, LLC, member SIPC. Brokers International Financial Services, LLC is not an affiliated company.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. It's that time for the Rescue Natural Supplement Labor Day Sale, the ultimate celebration of savings and well-being. Right now, all Rescue supplements are slashed up to 70% off. Plus, enjoy free shipping, too. So whether you're searching for immune support, joint care, heart health, or a youthful glow, Rescue has health essentials for everyone. Take a break. Celebrate your workplace achievements with savings on a probiotic, omega-3s, multivitamins, and so much more. Call them at 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a knowledgeable product consultant, or you can shop online at res-q.com, res-q.com. Celebrate Labor Day with 30 to 70% off. Again, all Rescue products are slashed up to 70% off site-wide. No codes needed. Just call or go to res-q.com to get this Labor Day deal right now. Start feeling like a new you with Rescue today.
I am Judith Krupnik, president of Cherry Hill Volvo. I drive an absolutely fabulous XC90 hybrid, the best of both electric and internal combustion. It's really an incredible Volvo. We are offering a $15,000 discount when leasing any 2024 XC90 hybrid in stock. If ever an XC90 was on your list, now is the time to visit Cherry Hill Volvo. $15,000.
What's better than watching your team win? Winning money while you do it. I'm Jim Costa, and on Cash the Ticket, Mike Valeni and I give you the edge to make every game playable. College football, NFL, we're breaking it all down game by game. Your podcast feed is going to be filled, and you're going to love it. You can click on the games you care about. We do it all. With our analysis, we're finding games that other people aren't talking about. We're turning every Saturday and every Sunday into days where you got a chance to win. Don't just sit on the sidelines. Cash the Ticket with us. Follow Cash the Ticket in the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Cancer, a scary word, but not so scary if you have the right team. Hi, this is John DeMasi, host of Health Watch, Sundays at 8 and again at 4 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. And that team is Dr. Molly Fantasia and the medical staff at Innovative Medical Associates. Yes, cancer is a scary word and a difficult condition if you've been diagnosed. Over the years, the staff at Innovative Medical Associates has helped hundreds of patients with their unique medical hydration protocols. Cancer support is a large part of the practice at Innovative Medical Associates.
We believe in medical hydration. We've improved it so much that we are able to help people across the board with challenges before they become chronic.
Talk about improving your quality of life. Most likely, that'll happen when you visit Innovative Medical Associates. Check them out on the web at innovativemedicalassociates.com or call 856-489-0505 to schedule your initial complimentary consultation.
Calling on Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Calling out lies in campaign ads, and in particular, the one that's quoting Trump of obviously, things he did say about other things, and then just editing those words that he said and applying them to make it seem like he was talking about something completely different, which was this Project 2025, which he has said he didn't write. It's not his policy. He has said he disagrees. He does agree with some stuff they say, but mostly he has disagreed with them on some major issues. They're a think tank, and so this is all they have. All they have on the other side, as far as Democrats, they have this Project 2025, which is like basically the boogeyman. It's like, oh, the boogeyman. It doesn't exist. It's not even an issue. It's a made up. It's a lie, and they're taking him out of context and then saying, oh yeah, he's talking about this. No, he's not. Your thoughts on this and whether we should pull it off? It should really be questioned. And I think that there are laws to protect from this, because why don't they just say he's a dirty killer? Why don't they just say he killed somebody? Why don't they say it about Kamala? She killed a guy then. And then you could show her going, yes, I did that. Right? At what point are you allowed to say, well, that's just a lie? And they're not allowed to put out an ad like that. 855-839-1210. Let's get to Steve. Steve, your thoughts on this. Hey, Steve.
Hey. How you doing? So I'm the guy who actually got the ball rolling yesterday morning, first thing who called in and complained about the ads. Here's the problem. I did not realize, because I emailed Greg Stocker, I did not realize he has to run these ads. His hands are tied. Also, he's got a business to run, so I now understand that. But because, I'm not the smartest person in the world, it took me a few minutes to realize that, this is actually really smart. On the Harris campaign's part, they're running these ads simply to make everybody angry and stop listening to the station or cause problems.
Yeah.
It's basically like a political sabotage.
Yep.
So to my fellow guys who are angry about these ads, tune them out, because if you get mad, you're falling into their hands.
Yeah. And that was my point. Jimmy Kelly started like screaming about it. I'm like, wait. You got to understand, because nobody's saying this part. That's exactly my point. So I appreciate you, Steve. Thanks for calling. And this, by the way, remember when Dr. Anthony Fauci, who the left loves to love, remember Fauci had said, I was taken out of context. And all the mainstream media covered that, right? He said the Trump campaign ad took him out of context. Well, how come, when it's Fauci or somebody else, then the mainstream media will call it out and report on it? But there's bias by omission. And so that's a big part of this. But this is a misleading ad. And you will also see NPR and CNN, they love to report on all the misleading Trump ads. Well, Kamala, they took her out of context. How come they're not reporting on this then? So we have to do that. And we will. We will continue to do that. Every time that ad airs, we will be the counter to it, because it's a lie. And it's taking what he said in the context of talking about something else. And so I think we should just start to create ads on our own and just make it so outrageous, so ridiculous. So what could we do? What we could have some fun with this, and we can have her going, yeah, I did that. But I will point out to you that the ads that are effective are the ones where Kamala Harris says Bidenomics, and she's talking about the economy. And by the way, the Republicans in those ads, they show two different screens. So they even take a moment to edit it, and they show her on one side talking about the economy and how bad it is. And then they show the other screen, and they take that full, and she's talking about Bidenomics and how proud she is of Bidenomics. And so at least they're showing you that the context that she's, in one hand, she's doing an interview with somebody, and it's a one-on-one interview talking about Bidenomics. In another one, she's at a rally, and she's campaigning for president, and she's before a rally, and she's talking about tough times. But the point of the ad is in context, and it's showing no matter what you say, she has to own it. This is her administration. And I think that's the big point of this. And I think, like Steve said, I completely agree with you. I think they're always trying to play us. They're always trying to aggravate us. They're always trying to troll and trigger us with their lies, not with the truth. Because if they really show the truth with Trump and what his what his actual issues are and what his policies are, he's a proven winner. He's the guy who wins. And as somebody said earlier on Kale and Company, we had some great callers, and one of you pointed out that, you know what, not for nothing, but on the issues, why isn't Trump way ahead? Hopefully he is, but maybe this will make everybody realize that it's really the media, the corporate-owned, corporate-run media. They are complicit with this campaign. They are not going to fact check until maybe after the election, but they only have to continue this for weeks. I mean, think about this. We're already into September. Early voting in Pennsylvania begins in less than 2 weeks. Think about that. And so they're just trying to really keep her out of the spotlight and keep the fact checking out. So that's all they have to do. It's pretty scary if you think about how many people are uninformed and how many people are influenced by social media and not influenced by the truth. I mean, that's a scary piece of this. 855-839-1210 is the number to call. You want to take, is this Mike in Chestnut Hill? Hey, Mike.
Good morning, Dawn.
Morning.
I wanted to agree with you, and it's not only that on the radio station, on your radio station, it's everywhere. Like if you watch a how-to video on YouTube, 10-minute video, any streaming channel, they just play these ads over and over and over again. I kind of think it's counterproductive, and I like your idea, just beat it up and put out the truth.
Yeah.
I think they're just really trying to aggravate everybody, because I know it gets me aggravated. I just, you hear her up talking and just not telling truths. So I just wanted to say
Thanks,
that.
Thanks, Mike. I really appreciate
you.
you. And that's just it. It's trying to beat you down, beat all of us down, and make you feel hopeless, And that's, I think, a piece of it, to get into your mind. Think about how manipulative and nasty that is. And by the way, if you want to talk about this, the billboards that make it appear that Kamala Harris is being endorsed by the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles organization has put out a statement saying they do not get into that. They did not endorse Kamala Harris. And yet, where are the surveillance images? We know that there are surveillance cameras all around Philadelphia and certainly at SEPTA bus stops. And these billboards, well, who put them up? I mean, somebody went to a lot of effort to make it look like the Philadelphia Eagles were endorsing Kamala Harris. Who did that?
There was a caller. I don't think we got him on this morning, but he basically said that not putting who runs that ad is illegal. You have to disclose who is furnishing these ads.
That is correct.
That's why at the end of every commercial you hear on the whether it's on the airwaves or on TV, it's like this brought to you by Mega Incorporated or whatever, and that poster simply doesn't have any of that on there.
That's correct. That's why it is illegal. It's a violation of campaign laws. So that's why earlier I said, isn't this a danger to democracy?
Yeah. No, they're very intentional about this.
And I'm being sarcastic.
More of a instead of asking for permission, just ask for forgiveness after.
Yeah. So who is it? Who put them up there? And will they be charged? Because don't we take it seriously? And again, I'm being a little sarcastic here, but seriously, people, let us not forget, J6, let us not forget when a Republican or a conservative does something that this is illegal, right? It's a crime to do what has been done. And, we should, this is Kamala. She cannot unburden or undo whatever the heck she says in her crazy word salads. But seriously, this is somebody who committed a crime. And if, you mark my words, if this was a Trump supporter creating slick-looking ads that made it appear that Trump was being endorsed by the Philadelphia Eagles, oh, my goodness, they would say it was a danger to democracy. They would say, we got to release the surveillance images. This is a felony crime. You will be jailed. You will have to pay for restitution, blah, 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 blah. Where's all that? Where is it?
I think they'll find out soon enough, because someone's got to have the keys to open up all these bus stops, right? Open up the little pane to put this, the poster in. Am I wrong?
You are correct.
I bet that'll get I bet only a finite amount of people have that.
Yeah, this is not somebody spray painting or doing something.
No, this was
they
very
did a professional
deliberate.
job to make it look real. So who did it, and will they be charged? Will they have to go to court? Will they face criminal charges? By the way, if Philadelphia police or whoever investigates, what about having to pay all the cost for law enforcement? Our tax dollars now have to look into this, right? It affects SEPTA bus stations.
And if you were paying for that bus station, right, as an advertiser, and you
should get
found
money
out you
back.
got usurped by a fake Eagles
That's
ad,
right.
you're going to want some money.
This is election interference. This is seriously. Why don't they charge them with all this? Election interference, campaign violation laws.
Got to find them first.
Think about Trump being charged in Manhattan. That whole so-called hush money. It's a bookkeeping situation. They're claiming one of the charges against Trump. That's an ongoing case in Manhattan, that they claim he committed election interference and campaign ad and campaign violations, and they made him go through a trial, and they claimed that he could go to jail for it. Well, I'm sure that the same thing is going to happen to those individuals or that individual who did this. How much you want to bet this will be no criminal charges, and somebody will get a misdemeanor slap, and that's why this is wrong.
Probably get free Eagles tickets. Yeah, if it were a Trump. But going back to your point, yeah, if somebody put that up as a Trump thing, there would be a Philadelphia manhunt on for it. We can't hunt the illegal immigrant down, but we can definitely put all of our resources into finding this individual. And whoever did this really had a lot of time on their hands.
Well, this was professionally done.
Yeah.
There's no question about it.
Yeah, I mean,
and so it was manipulative.
It looks real.
Yeah, it looks real. Who did it? They should face felony criminal charges, just like Trump faced felony criminal charges for that alleged bookkeeping situation where, by the way, it happened while he was president. I mean, that's one of the reasons that that's being contested. So the whole thing is ridiculous. All right, we got to talk about. I don't want you to turn the channel because, Democrats and Kamala Harris and her campaign are trying to spew lies. They're trying to aggravate you by running their lying, cheating ads, right, on our air in our house, and they know it's going to trigger all of us. So the only time I want you to hit the road is because it is September. It is road trip season. Do you know if your vehicle's road trip ready? My friends at Piazza Premium Automobiles, they're always going to help make sure you and your family are safe out on the roads. These service centers of the Piazza Premium dealers not only handle all your regular maintenance needs, but also they diagnose those possible issues before they can happen. So schedule a service appointment. Do this online. Just visit PiazzaPremiumAutomobiles.com, Piazza, PiazzaPremiumAutomobiles.com for that dealer nearest you. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Dreaming of a new bathroom?
Emmons Remodeling can turn your dreams into reality.
From modern shower or bath surround upgrades to complete remodels, our team of designers and remodeling construction experts deliver stunning results. We use high-quality materials to ensure that your bathroom will look great and last for years to come.
Call us today at 856-885-6677 or visit online at callemmons.com.
From top to bottom,
to inside and out,
at Emmons, we have you covered.
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process process ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
The following is a paid commercial message.
I'm Kamala Harris. Here's a few things I believe. Middle-class families, like the one I grew up in, they want common sense solutions. You want lower prices and lower taxes. I believe you want to just not get by, but you want to get ahead. We must create an opportunity economy where everyone has a chance to get a car loan, buy a home, start a business. And I believe we can make that happen.
Kamala Harris's plan? Bring down costs by cracking down on corporate price gougers. Make homeownership more affordable for families. A middle-class tax cut for 100 million Americans. And make sure billionaires and big corporations pay their fair share so you can keep more of the money you've earned.
Instead of being focused on the politics of the past, we need to be thinking about the future and how we make it better for families like yours. I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Harris for President.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-727-9105. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-727-9105. 800-727-9105. 800-727-9105.
Follow Talk Radio 1210 on Instagram and Facebook at 1210 WPHT.
So another made-up ad that has Gold Star families, by the way, even this morning, speaking out in defense of Trump. This was a made-up controversy that happened after Donald J. Trump, and you may recall last Monday, I had aired, and we had talked about this, that Trump was at Arlington. He was invited to Arlington National Cemetery by multiple members of the military, and in particular Gold Star families, who continue even this morning to speak out in Trump's defense, because the media, here's what happened. The media is complicit with this. See, the Biden-Harris campaigns wanted to kind of diffuse the story, right? Because Biden-Harris are responsible for Abbey Gate, the disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan that led to the deaths of our precious 13 lives of U.S. service members. And remember, last Monday, I had talked about that. We commemorated that horrible day and the horrible, disastrous Biden-Harris withdrawal from Afghanistan, right? And so the Gold Star families, many of them spoke at the RNC, and many of them asked Trump to attend, the former president, to attend the wreath-laying ceremony. And they want their loved ones remembered, but not just those who did not come home. What about the many who were injured, who continue to recover, and some of them permanently disabled, or some of them on a long road to recovery? We don't even talk about that. I told you on Monday the 26th that the White House did finally release a statement, and it was a beautifully written statement and paid quite a beautiful tribute to the 13 killed at Abbey Gate. And I read part of that to you because I always want to give due diligence. But as I had said, look at the stark contrast. On one hand, you have former President Trump there with Gold Star families. On the other hand, you have the President of the United States of America and the Vice President of the United States of America who are absent. And so what happened there was this phony story, this concocted controversy that's just a lie. And Gold Star families have come out and have said things like, hey, former President Trump, he's been a rock for us. He supported us. We invited him here. We asked him to come here. And so this continues even now. The so-called mainstream media, they continue to claim a controversy. There's no controversy. And even the United States government and the U.S. Army has said this is a non-issue. There is no investigation. There is nothing. It's a big nothing burger. They even now have released a statement saying, no, there's no investigation. So there was somebody there who claimed, and if there's campaign interference, I would love to know then, are we doing due diligence? Are we looking at this alleged cemetery, worker who allegedly claimed this, and somehow it got out to the media quite quickly, claimed that the Trump campaign had kind of roughed her up, claimed that somebody in the Trump campaign did something wrong. Well, who is that person, A? And since that person, because they were on company time, on our taxpayer time, who were they contacted by? Were they communicating at all with anybody from the Harris campaign? Isn't that fair game? Let's look into that. But see, the Army is very quick. U.S. Army is very quick to say, no, nothing to see here. There's no investigation because this individual, there's nothing filed. There's nothing going on. Isn't that curious? So in other words, somebody who is an employee who works there at Arlington National leaked something to the media or complained to the media, put something out there, helped to create a controversy, claimed this was a controversy, made all kinds of complaints, but then withdrew everything. So there's no official investigation. Do you see what I'm saying? So that in and of itself tells me that individual was acting with a campaign or not. Were they just deciding to file a false complaint against Trump and his campaign? But because everything's withdrawn and nothing's real, it just all goes away. Isn't that fun? Isn't that interesting? No, it's a big lie. And so that in and of itself calls for an investigation. Let's find out. Who is that individual? Were they really roughed up? Did something bad happen? Because if it did, then the Trump campaign should be called out if they actually roughed somebody up, if they actually were disrespecting our national monument. But you see, it never happened. It was a lie. It was all a lie to create a phony controversy, to create a media flurry so that the media would have something different to report on, a lie and a phony fake controversy so that they didn't just have to report on the truth. And the truth was that there was Trump. Trump was there, invited by Gold Star families, and he was there honoring those killed. But see, the media didn't want to report on that. So they needed this distraction. The whole thing is a farce, and it's a lie. And it's aggravating. And so either you believe that the so-called mainstream media just fell for it, and they reported, so they should have a retraction today, right? They should have a retraction and a clarification, and they should say, hey, last week when we reported this controversy, well, it turns out there's not a controversy. The individual who claimed this, there is no complaint. The Army says they're not investigating it, and so thereby it was a fake, phony, concocted controversy. We apologize to the Trump campaign. How about that? But they're not going to do any of the above because everybody knows what this is. And so I know that it's annoying that we have to talk about this, but we do. We have to talk about these concocted controversies. And what it should do for each and every one of us is solidify the knowledge that we have. That on one hand, you have a candidate who's out there. I mean, there's no question that Donald J. Trump is not perfect. Is he No, he's not perfect. But he is a candidate who wins on every issue, hands down. He wins. You want to talk about the economy? Trump wins. You want to talk about his winning policies? Trump wins. You want to talk about his level of experience and his what is proven in the past? He wins. Let's talk about safety, security, law enforcement, your security, as far as no matter where you are in the country, the disaster that's happening at the border that now every city and community across America, whether you live in a rural area or in an urban area, you are impacted by the disastrous Biden-Harris policy that has let the floodgates open and has allowed millions and millions of dangerous individuals to come into our country and prey upon our communities, whether that means gangs, drugs, fentanyl crisis, burglaries, which are up, carjackings. I could go on, murders, etc. But they don't want to talk about the facts, and they don't want to talk about the issues. They want to talk about the lies. They want to talk about the phony concocted controversies that don't even exist. And then when it's called out, when it's proven and even acknowledged, they're not going to report on it. That's what you're up against. That's what Trump is up against. That's what conservatives are up against. So just know it, own it, understand it, and spread the word. Because the mainstream media, so-called, they're not telling you the truth. They're lying. And quite frankly, some of this stuff rises to the level of FCC violations. And can you only imagine if these same groups were, if this was flipped, can you imagine the FCC going after them? Where are the feds? You know where the feds are. You know, here's the problem. The swamp, the real swamp that's like, I think, running the country right now or influencing what's going on, they fear Donald Trump. And the real reason that they fear Trump, honest to gosh, is that they know that when he wins, and I believe Trump will win, because I think people see the truth. I also believe in prayer. And I believe there are probably 1 billion prayers a day just praying for truth. And so I believe at the end of the day, truth wins. And that's why I do have faith. I am half glass full. I believe in the truth, and I believe that Donald J. Trump will prevail and will be the 47th president of the United States of America. I believe that. 855-839-1210. So channel your energy and don't let all that negative energy get you down, okay? But make sure that you vote and make sure that every day that you put that positive energy and you channel that toward the truth and doing things the right way, because two wrongs don't make a right. But this is all the other side has. Honestly, really, that's all Kamala Harris has right now. What she's doing is she's hiding. She's literally running a campaign hiding. And the scary thing is the polls show that right as of today, she could win. Isn't that scary? 855-839-1210. All right. We got to talk about your home, because this time of year, this week, because we're early September now, this is the time of year, as right now, I have a pretty pink flowery wreath, the summertime wreath. It comes down, and my beautiful fall wreath goes up. And it's about this time of year, you look at the front door and go, oof, I need a refresh. I need a little makeover, a fall makeover. Well, how about that fall makeover for your home? That's where my friends at Chapman Windows, Doors, and Siding come in. Now, maybe you're thinking about siding choices. Maybe you're thinking about the front door. Maybe you're thinking about new windows. But as far as that front door and the front door makeover, the fall makeover this September, think Chapman. Because my friends at Chapman, they're offering free hardware on a brand new front entry door up to the value of $500. An updated front door, obviously, it's going to change the curb appeal of your home and make your home look more beautiful, more up to date. So whether you're looking for a single door, a double door, or maybe a door like I have with the side lights, Chapman's experienced project consultants are going to help you choose the perfect new front door for your home. So if you or somebody you know are looking for windows, doors, siding, shutters, all the hardware choices, or maybe that new front door, give them a call. You can text. They're local, 610-431-8898. You can always check them out online, ChapmanWindowsDoors.com. Chapman, the name I trust. They're local, like-minded. Two brothers, Mike and Mark Chapman, great guys. Started their business, Chester County, about 3 decades ago. And family-run, great local business that you can trust. ChapmanWindowsDoors.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Schools are opening. Labor Day weekend has passed, but we're not ready to say goodbye to summer just yet. So join Rich Cioli at his happy place, the Grand Hotel in Cape May. Be there this Friday, September 6th from 3 till 7 for great fun and guests as we hold on to summer just a little longer. Rich Cioli's at the Grand Hotel in Cape May this Friday, 3 till 7 on Odyssey's #1 talk station, Talk Radio 1210. WPHT.
Wawa has new Southwest flavors like the roasted chicken fajita veggie quesadilla.
Fajita veggies?
Or the beefsteak burrito with salsa roja.
Salsa roja? Love.
You can also add fire roasted corn and crispy jalapenos.
No way. All from Wawa.
Oh, you bet. Wawa's always keeping things fresh. And this time, it's with delicious Southwest flavors. Try them in a burrito, bowl, or quesadilla and build it just how you like it. Gotta have a Wawa.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. You've heard me talk over the years a lot about FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, America's #1 sportsbook. Well, we have something a little bit different for you. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Then with the YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment, and you can cancel anytime. So just visit FanDuel.com/Dom to download America's #1 sportsbook. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. You have to be 21 plus, present in Pennsylvania. Full price of NFL Sunday Ticket will be automatically charged seasonally after free trial. No refunds, terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
At Wawa, you can always find the right drinks for the right time. And Wawa's pumpkin drinks are back sooner than ever, so you can enjoy the best of summer and fall. Enjoy a pumpkin brulee milkshake by the pool. Sip a pumpkin cheesecake smoothie while skateboarding. Or take a pumpkin spice iced coffee on a camping trip. At Wawa, anytime is drink time. And now's the time to feel cool and cozy with Wawa's new pumpkin flavors. Available in milkshakes, cream smoothies, and iced coffee. Gotta have a Wawa.
La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Oops.
Ever had your singing lessons cut short by icy water?
Oh, I'm sorry, honey.
Say goodbye to those cold notes with Navien tankless water heaters. With Navien, you'll hit all the right notes without the surprise chill. So keep singing and let Navien keep the hot water flowing. And get ready for the encore when you get your utility bill.
La 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 la.
Navien tankless water heaters. Visit tanklessmadesimple.com.
You can host the best backyard barbecue when you find a professional on Angie to make your backyard the best around. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
Hey, Ambler. We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Follow us anywhere on the free Odyssey app.
Gold Star families continue to speak out and thank former President Donald J. Trump for really being their rock and for supporting by his attending the wreath-laying ceremony and commemoration of the disastrous, deadly withdrawal from Afghanistan and what happened at Abbey Gate. We'll talk about that moving forward. Campaign ads, your thoughts, so much happening. And just ahead in the next hour, Dr. Marty McCary will join me, and looking forward to that conversation. Well, let's get to some of your calls. Ben in Gloucester Township. Hey, Ben.
Hi, Dawn. How are you this morning?
Doing great.
I have the perfect question that Donald Trump can ask Kamala Harris.
Okay.
And I'll ask you, do you know who pays for Obamacare?
Who pays for Obamacare? Well, let's get out our Kamala Harris Venn diagram. It must be Obama. Who pays for it? We all pay for it, right?
No, we don't. I'll tell you who pays for it.
Okay.
Remember when they took out the government student loans? Remember they switched it from private to government student loans?
Mm-hmm.
The college students pay 1.5% of that money that they're paying back pays for Obamacare. Now, if we could get to the college kids, you'll have a lot of votes. And that's how Obamacare is paid. These college kids are paying for it. And you can check it out. I had somebody a couple of years ago, that big Democrat in Pennsylvania, and I told her, she didn't believe me. When she found out I was telling the truth, she ended up in the nut house for a couple of weeks.
Aw.
Oh, well, yeah, that's a true story.
I feel bad for her. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. But the truth, I mean, the ACA, and Obama was right. Nobody calls it. A lot of people don't call it Obamacare anymore. It's the ACA, or Affordable Care Act, Obamacare. He's the one who pushed for it. They have tweaked it, and they needed to tweak it, and they continue to do so. But the truth is that a lot of it comes through Medicaid and Medicaid expansion. And the truth is, we all pay because it's the federal government, but it's also state dollars too. At the end of the day, we all pay for the so-called marketplace, all of our tax dollars. But the one group who does not pay, and this is what is very aggravating to, I think, a lot of people, is that we see these federal benefits of Medicaid, Medicare going to many of the individuals who are coming here illegally from other countries. And so at a time when we're hurting, at a time when people aren't even, going to urgent care or their own doctor, because they just can't even afford the copay of their private or whatever, if they are in the marketplace, it's aggravating to see all of the people who are coming here illegally, and then they're able to sign up for government benefits that were intended for U.S. citizens. So any way you look at that, I think that's the bigger story, and we're not being told fully how many people who are here illegally are actually getting those benefits, those medical benefits. That's a sin. 855-839-1210. Be right back.
At the next Crash Proof event, you will learn how our proprietary Crash Proof retirement system includes inflation fighters that can increase your income up to 35% or more to fight rising costs without depleting your nest egg.
Geraldine Chiadetti from Warrington, Pennsylvania. Crash Proof puts a smile on my face every day. I sleep well, and it even put a bigger smile on my face today when I got my 13%. The interest we receive from Crash Proof is credited interest. I'm not worried about inflation one bit. We get Crash Proof income, but guess what? Your principal still doesn't go down because your interest from your money is making more money. When I was told we made 13%, my husband looked at me and I looked at him and we did the happy dance.
Schedule an appointment or register for our next event at the William Penn Inn September 17th. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
The following is a paid commercial message.
Donald Trump's back, and he's out for control.
I would have every right to go after them.
Complete control.
I will wield that power very aggressively.
And he has a plan to get it.
Detailed plans for exactly what our movement will do.
It's called Project 2025, a 922-page blueprint to make Donald Trump the most powerful president ever. Overhauling the Department of Justice, giving Trump the unchecked power to seek vengeance, eliminating the Department of Education, and defunding K-12 schools, requiring the government to monitor women's pregnancies, and Trump has also proposed severe cuts to Medicare and Social Security. Those are Donald Trump's plans.
Well, revenge does take time, I will say that. And sometimes revenge can be justified.
He'll take control. We'll pay the price.
I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message. Paid for by Harris for president.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-246-0553. 800-246-0553. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-246-0553.
Labor Day signals that fall is fast approaching. Apple picking, fall leaves, and chilly nights are on the horizon. With Legacy Box, you can cozy up and watch something special this fall. Your family's home movies. Legacy Box is the simple, safe, all-inclusive solution for preserving your family's memories trapped on videotapes, film, even photos. After 10 years in business, Legacy Box is the world's largest digitizer. They've helped over 1 million families relive their wedding days, baby's first steps, and family road trips. Just fill Legacy Box with your VHS tapes, film reels, or pictures. Legacy Box digitizes it all by hand right here in the USA, and then sends it back on a thumb drive or the cloud. Future-proof your recorded moments today so you can gather the family and begin the trip down memory lane. Plus, for a limited time, they're offering 55% off. Go to legacybox.com/value to get 55% off. That's legacybox.com/value.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. The Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
The latest polls show that 70%, more than 70% of Democrats are unaware of Harris's positions. We've talked about that. This Back to School Tuesday, the issue at hand is, should cell phones be banned from the classroom? We're moments away from a great interview with Dr. Marty Makary, who you know well, who needs no introduction, talking about his stance on the issue of cell phones in the classroom. You know where I stand. My kids were always allowed to have their cell phone. It has to be silenced, has to be in their backpack. If they're caught with it, it goes to the principal's office. So that's the bottom line on it. I don't mind if they have it on their person, in their possession, but it has to be silenced, and they're not allowed to play games on it. And so I think that teaches them personal responsibility. But many feel, no, that schools need to go further and actually ban the cell phone from the school or the classroom. So we'll talk about that issue, among others, with Dr. Marty Makary. But some of your thoughts, and as well, you know, I started out this morning, Tuesday morning, post-Labor Day weekend, thinking about back-to-school football. And over the weekend, so many of you just enjoyed catching up with you. If I ran into you at one of the football games down the Jersey Shore, the Battle at the Beach, whether it was the LaSalle game or my son's team, others, we had a great time. And actually, to Marty and to Pat, great seeing you, Pat, for sure. But another friend from our Italy trip was my friend Denise, who wanted to call in about this aggravating, lying ad about Trump. Hey, Denise.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Good to hear your voice. I miss you.
You too. I miss you too. It's been a long time. Let's get together soon.
We do.
Yeah. Just following on with that, it just goes beyond the ads too. First of all, legally you could go after them, but they want to exhaust you legally to take down all these ads. But more concerning is I had a couple conversations, you know, with our younger generation about different issues, trying to have, you know, just a intellectual debate of issues of why, you know, one side or the other. And I had this conversation with this young girl, really smart engineer, and she says to me about Republicans, I can't vote Republican, be Republican, because I have a gay brother and Republicans hate gays. I'm like, where did you hear that? Because I personally know gay Republicans, personally. So it's just like the lies being spewed from every angle, not just, I think, what's on TV, nobody believes anything. It goes back to the old saying that believe nothing you hear and half of what you see. But I had another conversation about someone said, oh, my God, Trump's against IVF. And I'm like, where did you hear this? You know, he doesn't know. No, we can't vote for him. And I'm thinking, where are they getting this information? I go, if you want to believe anything, look at his policies. Go online. They don't. They just listen to the social media and these people ranting, and they're voting a single issue and not looking at the overall picture. And even going to this, reproductive rights, that's their big issue. And I'm thinking, I got one thing to say to somebody. Said, they can't define a woman, so how can they define reproductive rights? Seriously.
Thank
Seriously. You. I mean, like, and they just look at you like, oh, my God, you're right. Like, this is just insane. But I think now into the election, we really have to talk to our children, their friends, and just have an honest debate and dispel all these falsities that are out there that they believe. Really, I have to say one thing: the Democrats did a good thing about identity politics. How do reasonable people you talk to say they won't vote for him? I'm like, look past the man. All right, you might not like it, and everyone doesn't like everyone, but look at what are the policies, how it's going to change your life, your kids' lives. I just don't understand. So I thought about it, and I was like, why would somebody, throw reason aside and not think reasonably? Because I think when you dislike or what they have been doing, hate somebody so much, no matter if it's right or wrong, you just don't believe it. And that's what's going on here.
Yeah, and so
it's
Denise, at the end of the day, what do you think? Because I've run into so many people who still are fearful that because of what you're saying, that there are so many uninformed individuals who just think, oh, well, the Republicans are equal to racist people, or just pick your fill-in-the-blank-ish people.
Right.
And so are you worried that all of this disinformation, the misinformation, the lies will convince a small, really it's a sliver of people who decide elections, quite frankly. I mean, are you worried that will tip the election?
Yeah, absolutely. The only thing that I've seen, I don't know if anyone else out there, used to see a lot of signs. I really don't see, at least where I live, I'm in Bucks County, I don't see any Harris signs. I see only Trump, 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 and I'm thinking, okay, how is he that close in the polls? There's no way. I think the polls are a complete lie. I don't believe she's that close in the polls. I think they want you to believe it so people will say, okay, maybe she is going to win, so I'll vote for her.
Yeah.
That are on the fence.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know about you, where you live, or anybody else, but that's usually a sign, because I've seen a lot more signs the last election both ways, and I'm not seeing that. I'm not sure if you have or anyone else but I'm hoping that's an indicator that gives me some hope. And like you said, we do have to pray.
Yes. Yeah, and I'm not. Some people say I'm being facetious. I'm not. You know me, Denise.
No.
I'm really saying that I believe in the power of prayer and the power of positive energy, because I just feel a lot of this.
Yeah.
It's just negative energy, quite frankly. It's just, and that's really what a lot of people. I mean, not all, but a lot of people now campaigning for Harris and Walz. I think that's all they've got, and so it becomes a campaign of desperation and a campaign of desperation, disinformation, and hatred.
Well, the evident thing was that Eagles thing, saying that they were, that in itself, that was really thought out. Like, well, if everybody's about the Eagles, then and they're for them. You have to be unbelievable that they would go to, and that was professional. I saw the signs. That wasn't just some poster put up. That was done. Yeah. Yeah.
Can you imagine? Can you just imagine, Denise? Sorry. Can you imagine if that was the opposite. You know what I'm saying? If that was a picture of Trump, they'd be losing their minds.
Oh, they'd have the footage. They'd have the footage right away.
So where is it? We need to call for it. Demand it. All right, my fellow MAGA mama, I got to run. But I miss you, and I can't wait to see you. We're all doing a get-together. I can't say whose house, but,
I know.
we'll talk.
Yeah, see you soon. Take care.
See you soon. Take care, Denise. Lots of love to you. She's great. That's the thing. We have such a great camaraderie that's positive energy. And when we went on the Italy trip with conservativetours.com and, our great friends there, nobody sat around and talked about politics the whole time. We're talking about life and living your life and a great economy where you can flourish, where you can, where your company can grow, or in your job where you can succeed. And it's all positive energy stuff. We're not sitting around talking about politics or any of that. And so, I don't know how to say it any any different way, except that as far as the Heritage Foundation project, this Project 2025 thing, I mean, it's, if you fact check it yourself, I would say fact check. Just like Denise said, go through and look it up. Project 2025. It was published, 900 pages. I talked about it then. Heritage Foundation put it out. Think tanks put out their philosophies all the time, whether they're on the right or whether they're on the left. And so was that Trump's platform? No. Did Trump endorse it? No. Are some former, conservatives who worked for Trump or were associated with Trump part of that? Sure. But just as I'm not going to say that far left groups that put out their platform, I'm not claiming that former President Obama or current President Biden and his Vice President Harris, that they are fully endorsing that. I'm not going to do that because that's a lie. Okay? But this is all they have. This is all they have, because how else can they criticize Trump? So they're making stuff up. It's unbelievable to me that that's all they have, and that people either are not smart enough, or I don't know, maybe they're just gullible enough that they're just going to take the word of a campaign instead of doing their own research. And we saw those influencers during the RNC who stood up and said, hey, I did the research and I'm not buying it. Good for you. 855-839-1210. So tell me, Henry, what are we going to do? We're going to go to a quick break because we have Dr. Marty Makary coming up on the other side. We'll talk about medical issues. We'll talk about his latest think tank piece. Be right back.
Talk Radio 1210's Huge Politics and Pints with Donald Trump Jr. is Thursday, September 12th. Be there as Dom Giordano talks to Donald Trump Jr. about the election, politics, and all things Trump. Thursday, September 12th at Scottish Rite Auditorium in Collingswood. Your tickets include a copy of Letters to Trump by former President Trump. A cash bar will be available. Get your tickets now at 1210WPHT.com.
You might wonder, John Legend, how do you keep your voice sounding so legendary? Honey. And how do I keep my protection against COVID-19 up to date? With a COVID shot this season, designed for recent variants.
You can get your COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot if you're due for both, as recommended by the CDC.
The fresher, the better.
Ask your healthcare provider about getting this season's COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Every business faces challenges, but complicated, expensive, and uncertain shipping shouldn't be one of them.
With USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service, you can avoid all the noise.
No more unexpected surcharges, hidden fees, or complex rate structures.
It's just easy, cost-effective, and dependable shipping. Tune your business's frequency to success and turn shipping to your advantage. Learn how at USPS.com/advantage. USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable.
The following is a paid commercial message.
I'm Kamala Harris. Here's a few things I believe. Middle-class families, like the one I grew up in, they want common sense solutions. You want lower prices and lower taxes. I believe you want to just not get by, but you want to get ahead. We must create an opportunity economy where everyone has a chance to get a car loan, buy a home, start a business. And I believe we can make that happen.
Kamala Harris's plan? Bring down costs by cracking down on corporate price gougers. Make homeownership more affordable for families. A middle-class tax cut for 100 million Americans. And make sure billionaires and big corporations pay their fair share so you can keep more of the money you've earned.
Instead of being focused on the politics of the past, we need to be thinking about the future and how we make it better for families like yours. I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Harris for President.
Hey, Daydreamer. Did we catch you thinking about your dreams? With Wells Fargo Premier, a team can help you plan for them. So let's imagine your biggest dream. Not the easy one, the one behind it. The one you work towards every day and every night. Can you see it? Then we can help you plan for it. Ready to start planning for your dreams? You can at wellsfargo.com/getpremier.
Hey, Southampton. We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
By the way, this premise of greedflation in response and fact-checking to the ad you just heard, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to fact-check. Greedflation. All the studies find, inflation, it's not caused by companies, not mom-and-pop companies. It's not caused by corporations. Look it up yourself. I had quoted, and this was a while ago, and I've repeatedly said this, look for yourself, look up Friedman. Look him up and look at what causes inflation, not corporations and not small mom and pop businesses. That's not what's going on here. And so it's just a lie. And those ads are perpetuating that lie. All right, let's get to our next guest. I'm honored again to have Dr. Marty Makary here. His latest book, you got to check it out. Because I guess your new book is, in fact, people can pre-order it. It's not out yet. Dr. Marty Makary, is it out yet?
That's
or just tell me about it?
It's coming out in 2 weeks. I'm really excited about it. It's about chronic disease and food as medicine. It's called Blind Spots.
And really, when I think about this, in light of even RFK Jr. talked about this, you probably thought, he's talking about Dr. Marty Makary's new book. Who knew? But
good timing.
I want to get to your new book in a moment because this is my wheelhouse right here as a mom and thinking about processed foods and all of that. So I can't wait, and people can pre-order it. So I'll give all that information in a moment. But we are here in Philadelphia. Kids are back to school. My teenage son starts back to school actually tomorrow. But one of the issues I know you're writing about and talking about is whether or not cell phones should be allowed in the classroom. What do you say to that? Because, and I'm just going to let you know where I've stood on this for a long time, and I get a lot of pushback. I just think that my kids, they've been good about it. They have it on silent mode. It's in their backpack. But if there's an emergency, they have it on them. What do you say as far as cell phones in the schools with the kids?
Well, the average kid gets 273 notifications per day, and 44% of kids in studies are saying that their cell phones are making them anxious. So there's too much cell phone use in general, but during class, they need to be listening to the teacher and paying attention. And so the cell phones are being restricted or not allowed in the classroom during school in some new school districts and in some states. And this is a model that I think people should look at.
And so, I know in Philadelphia, everybody has their own policy. So in a lot of the private schools, they'll say it's a reward system, that if it's turned off or your notifications are off, if it's silenced, you're allowed to keep it in your locker or your backpack. I know there are these new bags that I guess can lock it up if they confiscate it. They have that going on. Some schools just ban it altogether, or they control the Wi-Fi system. But for you, you're just saying get whatever the policy is. In other words, make sure the notifications are off, but you're not suggesting banning it from the classroom, or specifically what policy do you think is the best one?
Well, I am a fan of what Governor Youngkin just did. I advised the governor, and he said he wants to have a cell phone-free classroom in the state for all classes K through 12. Now, there are some responsible parents that may be able to manage or restrict the phones. There's technology now where parents can set their kids' phones to not have internet access or not have apps, or the kid can only call certain numbers like 911 or their parent. And those make sense, but what's going on right now is we have a mental health crisis. We have a learning loss crisis coming out of COVID. Yep. Kids are crying out for help because they know they're addicted to their phones. We see it in the data. The kids are saying that the phones make them anxious, and that 2/3 in one study of teenagers say they're distracted by their phones during class. So it's very hard to manage, and one simple solution is the phones cannot be on, or you can't have them during the learning in class.
Yeah, and I think that's the best idea is you can always put it on that mode where you could only do an emergency call. I will also say this, and I'm a mom of boys, but my son, since they were, I don't know, 3rd or 4th grade, they say, Mom, somebody might punch somebody, in the schoolyard, but with girls, it's psychological warfare. I mean, the social media aspect, and then the fact that it really supersizes things like bullying when you're talking about, the mental health crisis. I think that's part of this, that even kids will go on social media during the school hours. Even locally in one district, we have the teachers, for crying out loud, the kids were doing AI, was pretty extensive, doing AI imagery of teachers. It was horrible. They're still dealing with that. But I think the social media aspect of it is something that we don't talk enough about with parents, especially middle school kids.
Well, we have a crisis in America. 40% of children will have a mental health diagnosis by the time they turn 18. Our kids are hurting. We have a major problem. Now, there's a bunch of reasons for it. One is that these social media apps are designed to give them a little dopamine surge, and then they're jittery and impulsive, checking their phone, and they've got these communities in this false reality of images that suck them in and convince them of image dysmorphia, take them down a road of anorexia, transgenderism. So we've got to recognize that when 40% of your society's kids have a mental health diagnosis, it's not their fault, right? Something is being done to them, and these apps are designed to grab their attention and hold on to it as long as possible. Well, that's what teachers are trying to do during school, too. Now, there's another piece of the mental health problem crisis, and that is the overdiagnosis. And what we're doing in medicine, it's a crime. In some cases, we have the medicalization of ordinary life. We want kids to sit sedentary, mess up their circadian rhythms, put them under fluorescent light. And if they're a little wiggly and they don't like it, then we give them these diagnoses and put them on medication. And pharma is not going to say, hey, this is going too far. The medical community is pushing this. And, my favorite is oppositional defiant disorder. Like, what is that? The kid disagrees with an adult?
Yeah, that's what most conservatives have, I guess. That's a liberal talking point. Talking to Dr. Marty McCary, who's, really, I know that you know him, but and we all loved your book, The Price We Pay. Great book. But now your new book, which I'm really excited for, and you can pre-order this right now, Blind Spots. Can you take us through as far as the blind spots? And you say in this, when medicine gets it wrong, what are you talking about here in your newest book?
Well, we've got to take an entirely new approach to health. We have a system where we've poisoned the food supply. We've engineered highly addictive foods and additives. We liberally diagnose mental illness, and we're converting America's children into a generation of patients and sometimes blaming them. So we've got to take a step back. When you've got 50% of your nation's children who are overweight or obese, the solution is not to put every kid on Ozempic, as the American Academy of Pediatrics is pushing us to do. We've got to talk about school lunch programs. What's in our food? And look how highly processed it is. The role of seed oils and pesticides, heavy metals, and other pollutants and toxins. We've got to treat more diabetes with cooking classes, not just throwing insulin at people. And maybe we need to treat more high blood pressure by talking about sleep quality and stress management, not just throwing meds at people. So there's a new movement now to talk about food as medicine, to look at the environmental exposures that cause cancer, not just the chemotherapy to treat it. And that movement is growing, and that's what I write about. And along the way, educate people directly about things they need to know for their own personal health and longevity.
Yeah, my hand to God, I didn't know that Henry Meshed, our great executive producer here, had actually lined you up for this interview this morning, Dr. Marty Makary. Just yesterday at a Labor Day gathering with family, a couple family members were talking about they couldn't wait for your new book to come out. And that this is a true story. And they said, this whole issue of thinking about food as medicine. And they were all talking about it, people of all different generations. And really, it is a conversation that's beginning to happen. I think it's so timely that you're talking about this. But that's the question we talk about back to school. Why aren't there, community gardens that are in school? I mean, think about, you're somebody, Johns Hopkins, right? You're a medical professional, you're a doctor, you're a best-selling author, New York Times bestseller. But think about it. Wouldn't that be great in local schools to have a community garden? Because if you think about it with a garden, you have to think about seeds and planting. You learn about science, environment, nature. You could really do a lot of whole learning there. Why don't we have these, home cooking, gardening, that sort of thing? We don't teach it in school. You're right. We don't teach nutrition in school.
Well, the American culture has been taken over by big food, big ag, and pharma. And the healthcare system is the same. We've got a rise of all these chronic diseases, autism, autoimmune diseases, asthma, and cancer. And no one stops in the healthcare system to say, wait a minute, what's actually causing the massive increase in all of these conditions? Why is it that 3/4 of the American public has some health condition now? Is it because they're bad people and people in Japan and South Korea are good people? No, it's because we have a poison food supply, and we've been told the only solution is to medicate everything. And substances that are banned in Europe and other countries because they're considered dangerous in the food supply are ubiquitous in the United States. So we can't leave it to big pharma, big food, big ag to fix our chronic disease epidemic and make us healthier. They just want us to keep going down this road. So that's why a group of doctors, including myself, have decided to go directly to the public and educate people about their health, what they should and should not be doing in a very understandable way. So that's why I wrote this book, Blind Spots.
And so when you're talking about this, I think for somebody hearing it for the first time, they might say, whoa, who would want to do this? Are you taking people through, in other words, the history of even food in America? Now, here in Pennsylvania, I'm broadcasting from Philadelphia live, but here in Pennsylvania, I'll just give you an example. We have some of our Amish farmers, one of them named Amos, his first name, in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, has been, you should see the persecution of this one farmer, and it's been through the federal government and now through the Commonwealth has cracked down on him. And I think about that. I think of these Amish farmers, literally the federal government or the state government raiding their farms. The scene is incredible when you see the video, and all they're doing is talking about what you're talking about. And there are people who will travel from miles around to go to these Amish farmers because they believe in what you're saying, Dr. Makary. And so how do we turn that around to make sure that people know the truth and know the value of food, that even if somebody says, well, I don't understand, what's the difference between something that's grown in a different kind of soil? Are you getting into that kind of detail?
A little bit, yes. And I'll tell you, the more people ask for healthy ingredients and healthy foods, the more the markets will respond to that demand. The more there's people asking at a restaurant if the food is organic, the more people buy organic food, the more people recognize the role of pesticides and other things. So markets do respond to consumer demand. That's why we're out there trying to educate the public right now, because there's a lot we can learn from farmers like Amos. There's a lot we can learn. I grew up in central Pennsylvania in Danville, near an old Mennonite community. You know, they have very low rates of obesity, asthma, diabetes, autism. I mean, what's going on there? Are we just going to ignore that signal in the data? Is modern medicine going to say, we've got all this sophistication, but no one's going to take a look at why the Amish do better, so much better on chronic diseases? Well, they're not using pesticides. They don't have a processed, contaminated, poison food supply. They're not consuming mechanically denatured flour. It's so processed it removes all the fiber, and you're basically eating all of our breads are basically sugar. It's a different type of sugar from the cutting up the flour and stripping it down. So there's a lot we can learn. And I think when you read this book, you'll realize, hey, when you have a little sniffles infection, you don't want to take an antibiotic. You're doing damage to your microbiome. Mm-hmm. Okay, and when you need a C-section, you need a C-section, but many are unnecessary. And so people need to understand what's altering that microbiome, that is the bacterial lining of the GI tract, that is altered with so many things in the modern diet, ultra-processed food, unnecessary antibiotics, unnecessary C-sections. Guess what a study just revealed about the increase in colon cancer in young people? It's higher among those born by C-section, because a baby may have their microbiome seeded from bacteria that comes from the hospital when they're extracted from a sterile operative field during a C-section, instead of having their microbiome seeded from the birth canal. So we're learning a lot. We're learning a lot.
Well, that's when I had my sons, and they were both huge, like 9-pound boys. So they said, we want to induce, brought up a C-section. They literally nicknamed me Pioneer Woman, because I said, I'm not having a C-section. And I love my doctor who supported me, but that's just it. Sometimes you're pregnant, you want to trust your doctor, but sometimes you feel a little bullied and pressured. And I'm really thankful that you're writing this book so that, people can feel, okay, you can call me Pioneer Woman, but Dr. McCary says I'm on the right side of this.
Yeah, there's a balance, right? Yeah. Antibiotics save lives, C-sections save lives, but we've got to stop the unnecessary blanket overuse and the over-medication that's become our new healthcare system. We can't keep going down this road.
Yeah, amen. It's just so true. Well, listen, Dr. McCary, I can't wait for the book to come out, and I just pre-ordered mine, but you can go to Amazon or wherever your sourcing is. But the new book, Blind Spots, so if you pre-order now, you're going to get it just in time for fall. And I think it's, as we think about fall cooking and comfort food and healthy foods, it's really coming out at a great time for sure. Dr. Marty McCary, thank you so much for joining me today.
Good to be with you, Dawn. Thanks.
Absolutely. Dr. Marty McCary, you know him well, but I just love, this is right in my wheelhouse, as you know, because you think about Denise, who just called actually on the Italy trip. We really felt this. Here we were eating this amazing food. And I've talked about this before, right? When we got back, everybody lost weight. Yeah, we were walking more, but there was something else going on. And even in Italy, many of the different, if we went to a farm, if we went to a winery, if we, people were saying, oh yeah, we don't allow all the chemicals that you guys allow in America, that your government allows. So this is a great book to really educate yourself, and it's Blind Spots, Dr. Marty McCary. Can't wait for that to come out. All right, your thoughts on that and more, 855-839-1210. Quick break, be right back.
This is a commercial for California Psychics, America's most trusted psychic network. So, if you're waiting for a sign, this is it. No, really, this is it. You won't see your soulmate's face in the clouds or your career path mapped out in your cappuccino foam. This really is it. We could add some dramatic sound effects if you'd like. So what you waiting for? Experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com.
Wow, honey, have you seen the electric bill?
Yeah, it's out of control. But have you heard of Navien tankless water heaters?
Tankless? How does that even work?
Well, instead of constantly heating and storing water, it only heats water when we need it. So much more efficient than our giant tank heater.
That sounds great. Let's look into Navien.
Already on it.
Imagine all the hot water you need only when you need it. Bulky tanks are history. Navien high-efficiency tankless is the future. Compact, wall-hung units free up floor space, lower energy bills, longer life than tanks, and a 15-year warranty. Find out more at tanklessmadesimple.com.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
A very pleasant air mass remains in place for the next few days. Plenty of sunshine today with a high temperature below average at 77. Tonight, mostly clear, comfortable, low 57 for the city, cooler in the suburbs. And another nice day on Wednesday, plenty of sunshine with a high 79.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. For over 35 years, we've grown by offering our clients more offices, more lawyers, and recovering more than $20 billion. Injured? The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
This is a test of the emergency alert system. This has been a test of the emergency alert system.
This is Larry Steinhaus with Investor Schooling. Are you ready for retirement? Have you prepared everything you need? Well, in Investor Schooling, we will teach you ways to better prepare for your retirement using real estate and the stock market. But you need to learn how to do it right, and that's what we teach. At Investor Schooling, we sell nothing but education. Come to Investor Schooling and learn how to have a better retirement. Go to investorschooling.com and RSVP right now for this Thursday's class at 7 o'clock. Go to investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinhaus with Investor Schooling. Are you tired of hearing about the recession that's coming? Are you prepared for it? Well, listen, at investorschooling.com, we're going to teach you ways to prepare for the recession that you didn't even know existed. We're going to teach you strategies on how to use real estate. We're going to teach you strategies how to use the stock market properly. That's right, you can even make money in the stock market when the stock market goes down. Hey, go to investorschooling.com and register for a free class this Thursday night, and you will learn all of these techniques. Go to investorschooling.com right now, RSVP for this Thursday. We'll see you there.
Support the Evesham Township Police Foundation. See Joe Conklin and the City Rhythm Orchestra at Cherokee High School in Marlton, Saturday, October 26th.
Conklin doing his thing, his best voices, his best shtick. Joe's family is just, they're like back from the Osmonds. They're Osmonds on steroids. They're unbelievable.
They made fun of the Cowboys, though. I've known him for such a long time, but I did not know he could sing like that.
That's Conklin with City Rhythm at Cherokee High School in Marlton, New Jersey, October 26th. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com.
JoeConklin.com! Hi, this is Dom Giordano for my friend, dentist and board-certified prosthodontist Dr. Robert Bentz and the Bentz Dental Group. His state-of-the-art facility makes your dentistry as easy as can be. Recently, they had a permanent tooth put in. And you know how it is. In the past, you bite down, it's too high. It's always too high. The back and forth getting it just right. Well, not this time. With Dr. Bentz, it fit perfectly the first time. Call the Bentz Dental Group now, 610-272-6949. Visit BentzDentalGroup.com, 610-272-6949. Keep free speech alive. Follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Fact checking, as I've promised to do. And Jill, welcome to the party, pal. Some of you calling and you just want to talk to Jimmy Kelly. He's a real sweetheart. So thanks for being nice. Be nice, as Mama Zeoli would say. But thank you for your calls. I've been talking about this, that every time an ad airs, and I'll fact check it for you, and I know that some of you are triggered and continue to be because these ads, whether you see them on or hear them on another station or this station, I'm just going to fact check. So the latest lying ad that's full of lies and out of context, taking Trump's words out of context and then making people believe, not that you believe it, that in fact he's talking about Project 2025 or whatever. It's a lie. But where and when did Trump say the word revenge? I just want to point out to you that earlier this summer, remember he did that long-form interview with Dr. Phil McGraw. And Dr. McGraw was saying, remember Dr. Phil was saying that there's this addiction to revenge. So during that interview, that's where they're taking it out of context. Trump actually said that revenge was a strong word, and at one point he said maybe we'll have revenge through success. That was what he said in that. So this week, I'm going to have fun with this, and this is going to be my theme moving forward, that we look at this. And he said at one point, revenge does take time. I will say that sometimes revenge can be justified. Sometimes, yeah, it can. But he was responding to things that Dr. Phil was saying. But at the end of the statement, a long form, it was a conversation. Trump said, well, revenge is a strong word. And, maybe I'll have revenge through success.
Donald Trump is the greatest thing to ever come into this world. See, and here's the thing, and it's okay, because you see, what we're trying to do.
This is a Dr. Phil exclusive.
Now, if I had to take these ads, hey, I'm all about the big bucks. Hey, you want to spend your money here and lose the election? Hey, that's fine with me right now. I'm just counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I just need to be clear on one thing. Earlier this morning,
what, Jimmy?
I kind of went on a tirade
it's
a little
okay.
bit. And it's not that people are calling in and complaining about the ads. That's all well and good. Yeah. I get it.
Because I know you're kind to people, Jimmy.
I try to be very kind to people. But the thing that really annoys me, and it just annoys me about everything else, is when you call in and say, I'm never going to listen again, or I'm never going to listen to this radio.
Because that hurts Jimmy's feelings.
It not only hurts my feelings, but it just irks me because you know that they're going to keep listening. It's like anybody who calls in here and complains about the radio station. Okay, if you don't like it, don't listen, but they can't help themselves, and it's very understandable. It's like those Eagles fans who call in and they want to burn the link down after the Eagles lose the Super Bowl, but they're right back the next time, and I get it. And
but part of it illustrates, though, the level of frustration, because it is frustrating because there's a flurry of lies. Sometimes I think Jimmy feels like Dr. Phil. Yeah. You not only do a great imitation of that, sometimes you feel like a therapist.
But in a way, when you really got to look at it, it's actually good that these ads are airing on this radio station, because people, we have a great audience. People are listening. You're analyzing it. So maybe it's going to wake people up to really what's going on with her. And
what they're saying.
And what they're saying.
We should all be aware.
So maybe there's a silver lining in this somewhere.
Maybe there's a silver lining.
Very smart.
Well, I will tell you this. Maybe there's a silver lining. And we're going to get all this audio, and we'll do our daily, every time these ads air, I'm going to start, this is going to be our new thing. We're going to start airing these over and over just to fact check so that we can hear what Trump said. But one group, I wanted you to hear this because this was, these are Puerto Rican musicians who are very popular. They have a lot of star power in the Puerto Rican community. I'm sure that Kamala Harris and the Harris-Walz campaign are not pleased with this endorsement. Henry Mashad found this. Hey, Henry.
Hey.
So can you play this little ditty for us?
Let's do it.
And two amazing Puerto Rican musical legends. They're legends, Justin Quiles and Anuel.
I'm from Puerto Rico. We a big part of United States. We really depend on the United States. Since Trump hasn't been around, Puerto Rico's, it's not a secret. We've been going through a lot as a country. And yeah, Biden always promise. A lot of politicians always promise through the years, but all of us know, the world knows, everybody's experienced it. The best president the world has seen, this country has ever seen. His name is President Trump.
A lot of Latinos, we stand strong next to President Trump. A lot of Latinos, we love you as well. Thank you for sharing with us back there that how important building back Puerto Rico is. And not only building up Puerto Rico, but let's make America great again. Let's go.
So huge reception there. So Trump continues to, he's stumping. He's on the campaign trail. I know that he has a big interview with, I think, Hannity tomorrow night. And then, of course, the big interview or the big debate stage is set for the National Constitution Center. That's next week. So there will be, once again, Philadelphia center stage. But I will tell you that as far as locally and those local politicians or former politicians making headlines, you've heard me interview in the past former Pennsylvania Senator Pat Toomey, who obviously represented Pennsylvania in the Senate for 12 years, there's a headline in The Hill that he won't vote for former President Trump or Vice President Harris in the upcoming election. So I guess he has just been interviewed by CNBC, and he said that he did vote for Trump in 2016 and 2020, can't bring himself to support Trump or anybody because of his efforts to overturn the results, he says, of the last presidential election. Sheesh. Well, that was not helpful. I love it when he needed Trump and he needed Republican support, but now that he's out of the game, I guess he's saying he's not voting for anybody. I don't know if he's going to vote in the election and vote down ticket, but if you have a message for former Senator Toomey, go ahead, bring it on, 855-839-1210. He doesn't even care. He's out of it and he's in retirement, but he probably won't be writing any books anytime soon because nobody's going to buy them. That's my only take on that. Quick break. Be right back.
This month, Talk Radio 1210's Veteran Spotlight salutes Sean Fishburne, Pennsylvania National Guard veteran. Be here this Wednesday morning, September 4th, as Kale & Company shine a spotlight on this outstanding local veteran in partnership with the Travis Manion Foundation, celebrating their remarkable commitment to service. Presented by Window Nation. For all of your window and door needs, visit windownation.com.
Hey, it's Greg with Kale & Company. You've heard us talk a lot about FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino. It's America's #1 sportsbook. We have something a little different for you. Now, through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Then, with a YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment, and you can cancel any time. Trust me, I have NFL Sunday Ticket for YouTube TV. You get picture-in-picture, so you can watch multiple games. If you have a little skin in the game, it makes it that much more impressive. All you have to do is go to FanDuel.com/Greg, FanDuel.com/Greg to download America's #1 sportsbook. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT, 21 and over, President PA. Full price of NFL Sunday Ticket will be automatically charged seasonally after the free trial. No refunds. Terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-727-9105. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-727-9105. 800-727-9105. 800-727-9105.
The following is a paid commercial message.
Donald Trump's back, and he's out for control.
I would have every right to go after them.
Complete control.
I will wield that power very aggressively.
And he has a plan to get it.
Detailed plans for exactly what our movement will do.
It's called Project 2025, a 922-page blueprint to make Donald Trump the most powerful president ever, overhauling the Department of Justice, giving Trump the unchecked power to seek vengeance, eliminating the Department of Education, and defunding K-12 schools, requiring the government to monitor women's pregnancies, and Trump has also proposed severe cuts to Medicare and Social Security. Those are Donald Trump's plans.
Well, revenge does take time, I will say that. And sometimes revenge can be justified.
He'll take control, we'll pay the price.
I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message. Paid for by Harris for president.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-246-0553. 800-246-0553. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-246-0553.
Don't miss the Labor and Energy Show with J-Doc and Krause, brought to you by Advocacy United, this Saturday night at 6. Find out about the important issues that'll affect you. The Labor and Energy Show, Saturday night at 6 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
Hey, Clementon. Yeah! We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Yes, Trump has said his greatest revenge will be success. Not just of his campaign, but the success of America. That's the truth. We are fact-checking these ads. Don't get triggered. Just get activated. You know, Trump Force 47. Oh, I'll be telling you, I'll be speaking at one of their Trump Force, another event in media upcoming. But we just want to lay the facts out there and fact-check every one of these ads. Don't get triggered. Don't be mad. Just get involved. That's for sure. And this, as these counterfeit political ads continue to raise questions about the Eagles organization, which quickly has disavowed any backing or involvement from the Eagles organization. They've said, we did not put these ads up there. They're not our ads. And we know that the advertising partners are saying that they're taking down these phony bus shelter billboards, if you will. If you've ever seen the bus stops, they have the plexiglass, and they look like, I don't know, I think that we should just put my name there because it kind of looks like it could be me. It's a brunette-haired woman, although I don't paint my fingernails, but I think I should just go around and put my name on there, like Dawn.
The Dawn Stensland Show.
The Dawn Stensland Show. The Dawn
10 to
Show.
12 every weekday.
Yeah. And I think I'm going to do that. Let's see if I get in trouble. See, because I'm going to go, well, nobody else got in trouble. They were able to do it.
Are you going to
claim? I get in trouble?
Are you going to claim that you're the official sponsor of the Philadelphia Eagles?
I wonder how well an access unit will work in prison.
Yeah, right? You guys can come and visit me.
I hope the internet access is good there.
That's all right. That's the thing. If one of us did something like this and somehow, hacked into a billboard system and got through there and put together these very nice, professional-looking billboards, I think we would get in some trouble. I think we would be in big trouble. I think that I don't know, at the very least, we'd have to pay a fine. But the Birds logo is there, and it's the name Kamala printed in these bold white letters, followed by the text, official candidate of the Philadelphia Eagles, and then it's like an artist rendering, kind of cartoony looking, of a brunette woman wearing an Eagles helmet and holding a football. There it is. It's the Eagles say, We are aware that counterfeit political ads are being circulated and we are working with our advertising partner to have them removed. They said in a statement, they put that out on their social media platform, and the posters appeared at some SEPTA bus shelters, including ones at some of the busiest stations, such as 34th and Walnut and North 16th and Spring Garden Streets. And they do include a link, because these are professionally done. Somebody paid a lot of money, by the way, for these. These were not cheap, but they include an actual link to the team's official website that does encourage general voter registration and provides nonpartisan voter information. So there you have it. I think we'll just put the Dawn Show, see how long it takes for them to take them down. Or maybe the Dom Show. How about that? Dom, do you think you'd get in trouble if you put up big posters? I'm not sure, but something tells me if we started doing this across town, we get in big trouble. The Dom Giordano Show.